Stay with us, everybody. KOIN 6 News at 5 is coming up next. Now at 5, fire danger increases in the gorge, and that means new fire restrictions in place in some popular campgrounds. So what you need to know if you are heading east at all this week.
Plus census form confusion. We're digging deeper into a survey that some recently got in the mail. Is it a scam?
Live from the KOIN Center in downtown Portland, this is KOIN 6 News. Watching out for you.
This is KOIN 6 News at 5 o'clock. I'm Jennifer Hoff.
And I'm Jeff Gianola. Next year, we'll all be required to fill out a census form. It's required every 10 years. But some people this week got a survey in the mail that looks an awful lot like a census form, and it's asking all kinds of personal questions.
Lisa Balick, digging deeper into this, joins us live from Southwest Portland. And they're wondering, Lisa, is it a scam? Is it not a scam?
Well, I can tell you it's not a scam. I looked into what was showing up in people's mailboxes. While it is a questionnaire, it is not the census, and that's what's causing a lot of confusion. When Robert Olson went to get the mail, he found an envelope with the words, "Your response required by law" on it. So he opened it. Inside, he found a multi-page survey asking him to fill it out for everyone in his house. Questions including where you were born, your income, how you get to work, and questions like how well you speak English and the number of times you've been married. He started filling it out, but the third-generation Oregonian put his pen down when it asked if he was a U.S. citizen.
Is this person a citizen of the United States? I was kind of caught off balance because I had heard on the news about the 2020 census and they weren't supposed to be asking any citizenship questions. And so I called Channel 6 this morning to find out what was going on. Is this legit?
I checked with the U.S. Census Bureau and found out the survey is legitimate. It's called the American Community Survey. sent annually to more than 3 million randomly selected households. It gives the federal government information to use to decide where more than $600 billion in state and federal tax dollars are spent. Yes, your response is required by law. The Census Bureau has a website that explains what's behind each question. As for that citizenship question, it's been on these shorter American Community Surveys for many years. The question before the High Court was whether it would be on the 2020 census that everyone will receive. Olson is filling it out, but he says he still has concerns.
One of those concerns is privacy. Now, the Census Bureau says it removes personal information from its database and it doesn't share information with other agencies like law enforcement. Now, one other way you can tell if this is legitimate or not, a red flag is if it asks for your social security number on any kind of a questionnaire or survey. The government ones will not do that. If it asks you what time you go to work and come home from work and your money, and if you have to pay any money to them, these are all red flags that you should just toss it out. But in this case, it is one that is definitely one that is supposed to be sent back to the government. Live in Southwest Portland, Lisa Balick, KOIN 6 News.
Yeah, but it pays to be suspicious. Lisa, thank you. New fire restrictions will go into effect in 3 Oregon state parks in the Gorge first thing tomorrow morning at 8. No campfires or open flames will be allowed at Ainsworth, Memaloose, and Viento state parks. Now, this ban applies to all areas of the parks, including in the rings at the campsites. It will remain in effect until further notice. The Forest Service also has fire restrictions in place in other areas of the gorge.
Well, those restrictions are in place because of some red flag warnings that have been up since at least yesterday. There are very dry conditions out there. Let's check in with Chief Meteorologist Natasha Stenbock for your first look at your forecast. Natasha?
Yeah, well, when you just check out what's happening so far on the Columbia River, you can see a lot of kiteboarding activity, and that's just one little sign. You know it is windy through there. We're getting wind gusts upwards of 30 to 35 miles per hour, especially right around the Dalles. So dry and windy is the combo, plus the threat for thunderstorms. We had been seeing some lightning strikes in eastern Oregon. So the red flag warning in effect through tonight, but then expires by tomorrow morning when those winds start to die down. But we certainly are dry out there. Look at your wind speeds right now. Yakima giving us a report of calm, but it's also those areas in between the weather reporting points where you're not getting an exact measure of the wind speed, but we know we're getting gusts up there of 30 to 40 miles per hour. Sustained winds, though, out of the northwest for you. The Dalles up to about 20 miles per hour. Redmond and Bend up to about 20 as well. Look at these temperatures, too. We're in the mid-90s. Walla Walla, Pendleton, Baker City, Central Oregon in the mid to upper 80s, but a lot cooler for us in the Willamette Valley right now in the mid to upper 70s. Along the coast is where you're seeing the most sunshine at the moment. By tomorrow, we expect those numbers to go back up into the low 80s. More details on your 7-day forecast coming up.
Well, firefighters remain on the scene of the Juniper wind fire burning in Klickitat County tonight, just south of Bickleton in the gorge. That fire started Saturday night, quickly grew. It's burning mostly in the Pine Creek drainage area. There has not been any flare-ups or added growth to the fire. Some firefighters will now be released from that scene later today.
The Portland Police Bureau recently launched a system to help survivors track the progress and the status of sexual assault kits, and soon it will be used all across Oregon.
Now, this was in response to the 2018 Oregon House bill that now requires law enforcement to give survivors anonymous access to the status of those kits. A grant funded by the system designed by the Bureau. Survivors will get a safe kit number from the hospital, and then they can enter that number into the website. The system was designed specifically to keep survivors' privacy in mind.
It'll give them a diagram with the status of their kit. Now we wanted to make sure that we keep these survivors' information confidential. So there's no login information, there's no personal information.
And this system will be expanded statewide by next July.
A patient accused of killing another patient at a local mental health facility went before a judge today.
A grand jury has now indicted 57-year-old Roger Jones on 1 count of murder. Amy Frazier, live outside the Multnomah County Justice Center with the latest in this case.
Well, according to court documents, the suspect admitted to choking the woman. He's now being held in jail without bail.
57-year-old Roger Justice Jones, accused of murdering a fellow patient at a local care facility, has an extensive criminal history. His convictions include assault, attempted rape, and in 1998, abuse of a corpse, in which he was guilty except for insanity. Investigators say on May 17th, employees at the Cameron Care Facility on Southeast Powell found a patient unresponsive in her room. The staff called 911, but she couldn't be saved. 46-year-old Huyen Cao was pronounced dead at the scene. According to the district attorney's office, the next day, the medical examiner determined she was strangled to death. During the investigation, detectives reviewed surveillance video and determined a man, later identified as Jones, left his room and went into the victim's room twice. As the investigation continues, Cameron Care released a statement today saying in part, in May, authorities informed us that Ms. Cao's passing was from natural causes. At the time, we were given no reason to be concerned for the safety of our residents or staff. We were shocked when Mr. Jones was arrested, as we were not involved in the investigation and had no knowledge of the imminent arrest. Cameron Care will continue to work alongside our staff and county and state partners to ensure our residents get respectful and compassionate care at all of our facilities.
And today, the suspect entered a plea of not guilty. He'll be back in court on August 5th. Reporting live in downtown Portland, Amy Frazier, KOIN 6 News.
Thanks, Amy. We found out tonight 2 more people are facing charges in the murder of a teenager from Washington. Lewis County prosecutors say 17-year-old Michael Salazar and his mother were recently arrested just last week, in fact, in connection to the death of Ben Eastman from last year. Court documents show that Eastman was raped and murdered after 2 brothers invited him to go camping last year. His body was found in a shallow grave. Salazar is accused of knowing about the plan to assault Eastman before it even happened, but didn't do anything, according to prosecutors, to warn anyone, while his mother is accused of helping to cover up the crime and also mislead detectives.
Have you seen this man? The U.S. Marshal Service of Oregon says Eric Oakers is a federal fugitive. They say he violated his probation in connection with a prior gun conviction. He has several tattoos on his arms, legs, and chest, and is known to frequent the Portland area. Take a good look. Crime Stoppers offering up to a $2,500 reward to track him down.
This morning, a trailer fire spread to a garage and even 2 homes. Firefighters got to that scene just before 9 o'clock in the morning. We found out the fire started burning a couple cars even that were parked in the garage at that home there on Southeast Taggart, right off Division. And the flames got really close to some power lines too, so that made firefighting efforts really dangerous. Neighbors were able to alert the family, let them know about the fire, so everybody made it out safely.
Well, I looked out my bathroom window and I saw a small fire and some black smoke. So I ran over and I could see there was a small fire under the camper. So I knocked on the door and told them they needed to get out and to move their vehicles. And by the time we got out, they got their vehicles moved. The camper was just engulfed.
The fire now out tonight, and firefighters are investigating the cause of that fire.
A frightening situation for a family simply enjoying a day at a local river. They were at Lucia Falls along the Lewis River near Yacolt this past weekend, when 12-year-old Michael Brown slipped on a rock. He was swept down the falls. His father, Robert, tried to grab him and then fell himself. The 12-year-old was fine, but his father went over the falls head first. With some help from others, he got out of the water after being swept away, but he did suffer gashes to his face. He needs 36 stitches. He also suffered a concussion and a fractured neck. Now, we talked to his wife, Amy, and Michael today about that experience.
During the time, then I was just thinking, how can I grab onto any rocks to save me? Because I couldn't, because it was all covered with moss and algae going down. And so then when I went down, then I realized it's all over, and then I'm fine.
And his mother says she will remember how Robert's a hero every time she looks at his scars. He remains in the hospital tonight.
There are new regulations that could save the lives of whales who can sometimes be killed after they're stuck in crab traps.
Yeah, this year 4 whales have been killed off the coast after getting entangled in those traps. Changes would include eliminating a 2-week period at the end of the crab season for fishermen to remove gear and adding identification tags to the gear of non-commercial crab fishermen.
This will be the first time requiring any sort of marking on sport crab gear.
Now, the regulations would also give fishermen protections if a whale dies in a trap. Fish and wildlife officials would like to hear from the public before any final decisions are made. They'll hold a hearing tomorrow night at the Hatfield Marine Visitor Center in Newport.
The Marion County Board of Commissioners picked Raquel Moore Green to fill House District Seat 19. The Oregon Republican Party nominated her to fill the position left empty by Denise Boyles. She was sworn into the late Senator Jackie Winter's seat earlier this summer.
Coming up, millions could lose access to food stamps, the proposal that could mean some big cuts.
And then we'll take you to a hearing where an Oregon lawmaker is testifying about the importance of allowing legal cannabis businesses to use banks.
Plus, HOV violators in Washington will soon be forced to pay a lot more, especially if they have something extra in their car along with them. We'll explain.
And right now there's a reported stall on I-5 southbound near the Morrison Bridge. I'm looking at in that area. I have not been able to spot it, but it is reported as blocking the right lane of I-5 southbound in that area. So let's take a look at drive times. 26 eastbound, 12 minutes in from 217. Right now those delays start at the Sylvan exit. You can expect a 28-minute drive on I-5 southbound to Wilsonville, and it's the heaviest between I-205 and Tualatin and Wilsonville Road. On I-84 eastbound, it's a 9-minute commute with things picking up after you get past the Hollywood district, and 36 minutes on I-5 northbound here from the Markham Bridge to Vancouver.
Today, Oregon's governor signed a bill aimed at protecting domestic violence victims.
HB 2013 improves protections from firearms for the victims. It prohibits somebody with a court protective order against them from possessing guns, even having them, or if they are a convicted domestic abuser, they can't have any guns. Supporters say that it is a step forward in common sense gun laws while protecting the due process rights of gun owners.
It provides law enforcement with the clarity they need to ensure that the intimate partner loophole is actually closed. And those individuals that shouldn't have guns don't. This legislation will save lives.
The bill also requires somebody to transfer all guns and ammunition within 24 hours, and if that person fails to do that, they face up to nearly a year in prison and thousands of dollars in fines.
A new Trump administration proposal could mean millions of Americans will lose access to food stamps. Now, currently, most states automatically make people eligible for food stamps if they meet requirements under another federal program. Under the proposal, income and assets would be reviewed now to qualify for food stamps. The Agriculture Department expects these new rules would cut more than 3 million people from Supplemental Nutritional Assistance Program, or SNAP. Agriculture Secretary Sonny Perdue defended this rule change, saying in a statement, "For too long, this loophole has been used to effectively bypass important eligibility guidelines."
Fines for people driving in an HOV lane in Washington state are going up this weekend, especially if they have a dummy sitting in a passenger seat. Legislators in Olympia passed this bill back in April. Now, for first-time offenders, the ticket is increasing by $50, so you'll have to pay $186. Now, if a driver tries to get sneaky and maybe put a mannequin, say, in the passenger seat, it would cost drivers another $200. And if a driver gets caught doing that a second time within just a couple of years, troopers can then fine that driver more than $500.
No dummies in your car. There you go. A bear caught on camera running around a Bellevue, Washington neighborhood. This bear was scaling fences, darting through backyards. It eventually disappeared into the woods. Now, there haven't been any more sightings since yesterday, but everyone in that neighborhood now on alert.
Yeah, I bet so. Okay, Natasha's here now. A little cooler out there today, a lot more cloudier.
Yeah, it certainly is, and that's helping kind of filter out the sun a little bit. But at the coast, it has just been stellar. I mean, nice and sunny. This is, of course, not the coast. A nice view of the Willamette River. I'm going to show you a picture of the coast here coming up. So sorry, cameras are not cooperating fully at this moment in time. But, hey, your temperature right now in Portland, 76. Dew point 56, wind out of the north at just 10 miles per hour. Checking out your sunset time, that'll be 8:49. So I think some of you will come up with some great sunset pictures. Willamette River temperature right now, 74. So as we take you over to the other side of the Cascades, to the east, this is where we're starting to see some heavier showers come through. One of the reasons why that red flag warning against starting east of the Cascades is in effect through tomorrow morning, not because of the rain per se, but because of the potential for lightning. In addition to that, the very strong winds that we're dealing with out there, and the fact that we're already very dry to start. So again, this is coming through Juniper, moving north at a pace of about 20 miles per hour. So we're seeing now that line of heavier moisture starting to stack up over the Cascades on the crest, and then whatever spills over to the eastern side is what we're seeing right now on the map. So possibility again of seeing more lightning strikes and hail with that. Most of this activity though has been in eastern Oregon, from Burns up through Baker City, Prairie City, and this is all again overall motion coming from the south and moving to the northeast. So we have a little area of low pressure that's helping to kind of create this impulse, which is one of the reasons why we're getting just enough lift and enough instability here on the east side of the Cascades. So tomorrow morning, you'll probably wake up again, especially at the coast, to that marine layer returning. Also for our inland valleys west of the Cascades. Wind won't be nearly as strong, though, tomorrow. So this is what we're seeing right now. Looking at those wind gusts up to about 36 miles per hour for you. The Dalles out of the northwest due for 34, Wasco 33, and Parkdale 24. Temperature-wise, look at this. We are hot. Baker City, Pendleton, mid-90s. Upper 80s, Central Oregon, and we're just hanging out in the mid to upper 70s here in the valley at the coast, right around 66 for you, Newport. Now, as we take a look at our cameras across the way here. In Portland, as mentioned before, at 76 new yesterday, we got up to 83. 56 right now. Mount Hood Meadows went not too strong there. At Meadows, different story for you, though, on the north side of the mountain. In the gorge, 70 degrees, but noticeably cloudier for us, so you might even get a few sprinkles as you get past Cascade Locks and over towards the Dalles, for instance. Lincoln City, 72. This is my favorite. This is my favorite right here. This is great. Just a perfect day for you at the beach. It's not quite as warm, though. Astoria, Seaside, you're in the low to mid 60s right now. So for the rest of this week, here's how things will play out. Overall, virtually cloud-free as we get past, of course, tomorrow and get into Thursday and Friday. High pressure takes over, then our temperatures soar. Next area of low pressure tries to pass by, but bumps into that ridge of high pressure. But then as that ridge breaks down, Saturday we'll be allowed to see a few more sprinkles in the mix, but this is really going to be more so impacting Washington, places like Seattle. Best chance to see the rain Friday night through Saturday morning. Not much happening for us from Portland all the way down south to California, and the rest of the state also looking pretty dry. Temperatures for tomorrow at the coast, we'll see the upper 60s. Inland Valley temps, we're going to move it up to 82. And Central Oregon, your temperature expecting about 85, a little bit cooler. Eastern Oregon, 84. And Hood River up to 83. There's your 7-day forecast. So the next couple of hot days will be Thursday and Friday. Almost 90. And a little bit cooler Saturday, Sunday, back up to 87.
And that is a summer forecast, which we have not been able to say most of this July.
Yeah, July's been weird.
Right there is summer.
Thanks, Natasha.